So this is really useful actually. So you went to a lot of social events, you threw parties.
Yep.
These events, were you just going to like anything? Were you more like judicious about the types of things you went to? Were you like, okay, you know, our ideal customer is going to go to this, so let's go to that and mingle? Yeah.
Yeah, it was all the higher end where people want to be like, people want to be seen. So New Orleans has a street called Julia Street. That's called the Arts District. Okay. And there's all the
Uh,
art galleries. So we're talking about people that often are into art, have money to spend. There's a whole, there's two events like that. There's White Linen Night, which happens in the summertime, and because it's so damn hot, you have to wear linen basically. And then there's Art for Art's Sake, which actually just happened a couple weeks ago, but it's when, sort of the people that can afford to spend money on works of art are out viewing
right.
things. So you're meeting people from, a higher earning caliber. And so, many of our clients were, we were in a really wealthy area of the city. And so it's not like you're going to places where you're not going to meet the more well-to-do in the city. So you have to
Yeah.
be selective about that. But every time we got in, and we went as business partners, we would get invited over to our client's dinner party, and we'd both go, and so it was really you're just meeting a lot of people, you're starting those conversations, and every time we did something like that, we got clients. I mean, it can be for a mature business, it's not necessary and can be a little exhausting now. I mean, I don't want to keep up with all that. But when you're
Right.
first starting out and you're trying to go, I would say try to, spend time, if you have that type of business and you're young, spend time socially with your clients. Granted, you have to draw appropriate boundaries. I mean, right? I mean, I had the saying, "Don't dip your stick in company oil." So you don't want to have
Yes.
any of those improper relationships or anything like that. So you have to have appropriate boundaries with all that, because there's always opportunities to cross those, and you can't allow that. You can't allow that
Absolutely.
in your business at all. But if you engage socially, you'll meet more of their friends, and a referral is always much stronger than any lead you're going to get, from an advertisement for sure.
100%. So do you remember if you had like this is going to sound really contrived, but like a method? Would you kind of speak to your business partner like, hey, we're going to go to this thing and like, let's just make sure we do X, Y, and Z. I'm always thinking in frameworks, which is my own issue. But do you know what I mean? Like, would you go in and be like, right, I'm going to like talk to this person and I'm going to share what we do? Or would you be more like, hey, I'm going to talk to this person, I'm going to learn what they do and see how I might be able to help them and never like push my service? I'm curious if you had a mindset or a method or framework when you went into these types of events, if you recall.
It was just about having fun and meeting people and being
Right.
personable. And anything that happened flowed organically. You would often get, matter of fact, I used to have to literally, I would always be introduced as, this is Ryan, he's my trainer. Okay. And
Nice.
I almost didn't like that after a while, because right off the bat, they start asking questions. And look, I'm here to have a good time. I'm not necessarily here to grow the business. That happened as a side effect. Um, Always make sure you have business cards on you, because you could always give one. But usually you would, if you're in that business mindset like we were when we first opened. Yeah, I mean, you're introduced as the trainer, and then people start asking you questions, not necessarily about them, but about, well, what do you exactly do? And
Mhm.
then you can start talking to them right away. And so we always got clients from any event we went to. And when we first opened, I mean, literally the business has exploded. I mean, we had very quickly, we grew to 10 trainers who were very full.
Yeah.
It
What you
was a
said there,
different time.
yeah. What
It
you said
was
there about hitting
literally,
70 a week and within 3 weeks is very compelling. Yeah.
yeah,
Mm.
we were the first training studio, pure training studio in the whole city at
Okay.
the time.
Okay.
So, and no one was doing high intensity or super slow. It's just what I was doing at NOA, New Orleans Athletic Club before then, or Heritage Sports Center before that. And so it was sort of bringing something that hadn't been brought to the city before us. It was sort of brand new. And we were in a great location. I mean, just being in that uptown area, which was that 70115 area code is the highest median per capita income
Got
in the
it.
city. That helped out a lot. So people had expendable income on top of that too.
Yeah, this is really great advice. So it's because one of the first kind of tactics we would teach or talk about with people is networking, is things like BNI, which are a little bit more formal events. But obviously you find out who your ideal target market is, and then you go to the places where they hang out, right? You spend time
Yeah.
there. And I like, just to add some more color to this, kind of my own thoughts as well. I think if you go in, like you said, with no agenda to try and push on what you do to people, but instead seek to listen and learn
Yep.
about others, actually, because what's everyone's favorite subject? Themselves, right?
Yep.
And learn about what they do and actually try and help them. And like you say, you do enough of that, and people will ask what you do and show interest. And if you've got business cards, you can hand them out, and that's probably the best way to do it. And play the long game, right? Go to a lot of these.
Yep.
Certainly, if you're, like you said, if you're a younger person, you're at the start of this. But even if you're like, I don't know, you just need to get more customers, you're struggling a little bit. Obviously, you can take what we talked about in terms of the workout experience and implement that. But to get an injection of clients, networking, going to these events is extremely beneficial. And it, like you said, it doesn't have to be forever. You can use it to inject some business, and then just focus really hard on, the workout experience. And then you can probably find then more sustainable ways to generate leads long term if you always want sort of something going to top up those referrals, right? And all this comes back to like, what are your goals, right? If we're talking about solo trainers versus if you've got a team, and sort of things like maybe content, and we don't have to get into all this now, Ryan, but obviously doing some kind of content and these things that might be more sustainable or something that you could do later. But so it's just to say that, I don't want people hearing this going, oh, I can't be bothered to do all of these events. Might not have to do it forever. It might just be a great way to boost the business. So how does
It
that sound,
really
Ryan?
is a
Yeah, go
great
ahead.
way. I mean, I
Yeah.
remember right after Hurricane Katrina, I remember I had started training this girl for her wedding. Okay. And we started twice a week because she had a limited amount of time to get there. And she looked fantastic. And she invited me to the wedding. So me and my girlfriend at the time went to the wedding, and she looked so great for the wedding. She really got down with the diet, the training, everything. I literally got 5 new clients. Her friends started training with me just from going to the wedding. Had I not gone to the wedding, I wouldn't. I mean, it was unbelievable, And then from every new client you get, you potentially get 100, right, with referrals. So you don't want to miss out on personal referrals. That's the best way, in my opinion, to grow your business more than anything.
Yeah.
Lead generation is great, but eventually it leads to referrals, from the
Yeah.
people that stick with you, that are happy with your services.